Welcome to the Big Messy Bun, episode 27. You guys, we're kind of at the halfway point of the year, which is just wild to me to think that we're at the end of June. We're nearing the end of June. And when I thought about episode 27, it got me reflecting on the last, 6 months or so. And when I sat in this chair on the very first day, I really had no clue what I was about to do. I just started. I was listening back to the first episode and I saying the name Big Messy Bun several times. Didn't even know it was going to be called the Big Messy Bun. I had a different name. I had no name really planned for it. And then the Big Messy Bun has been what it's been called. And it got me thinking a lot about this show and what I wanted for it and the intention behind it. And so I am here straight up being me. And I wanted to share with you guys today just a little reflection on me and something that was brought to my attention this past week in my own life. And it has to do with our thoughts. And so it's going to take us back all the way to 1994, which is nuts because that's like 31 years ago. And I was letting a thought or a limiting belief kind of guide my life for a few days this past week from a thought or an action that took place 31 years ago. And it kind of stopped me in my tracks when it was kind of brought to my attention. And I was like, holy shit. So the action that was taken was an action somebody took against me that was not nice. And I was letting it stew in my current thoughts. And it got me thinking about the power of our minds and our ability to change that thought process or let it continue. And I think there's time for reflection. Absolutely. Like we need to reflect on what's gone on in the past, but then we have to take those steps to not let it be how it's controlling your current self. So there might be things in your past that happened to you, but are you still reliving them today? Are you still talking about something that happened like for me 31 years ago? Are you kidding me? Like I couldn't even believe it when I actually said it out loud and that same thing was still kind of present in there. It was kind of wild. So it got me thinking about all different thoughts and all different things about life. And when I was reflecting back, I was thinking about the 80-20 rule with my life. That I've done 80-20 with a lot of things. I've done it with my thoughts. I've done it with my movement. I've done it with my food, the way I live, the way I show up. So last week when this was kind of brought to my attention, I thought, okay, I don't live in that mindset. I don't live there. It kind of came in and then I recognized it and now I'm releasing it again. I'm not letting it stay there. I'm not letting it take up space in my current self, but it definitely popped in. I recognized it and now I'm releasing it again. And it brought me back to the 80-20. So 80% of what I think and feel and do and believe and show up as is my best self, like my best version of Katey. And then there's 20% that weasels its way in from time to time and shows its ugly head. And it just does. And so I wanted this week to be, if you are someone who has a thought or a habit or something that you're allowing in and you know it's a thought or a situation from your past that's still dictating the way you are showing up for yourself today, take a step back and ask yourself, even if you say it out loud, it's kind of mind-blowing what happens when you actually say the thing. Because the person that upset me 31 years ago, they're not upsetting me today. They're not in my day-to-day upsetting me today. It was something that happened 31 years ago. But I'm the one that's continually bringing it up and allowing it to take up space in my life. And I don't want that. I want to live my days full. I want to live them with energy and anticipation of what's new and what's coming, not in the past and a thought or something that happened that no longer is happening to me. It's over. That is over. That ship has sailed. It's time for new. And in order for that to take place, I've got to let go of that shit. I have said this on the podcast many times. Let that shit go. Let yourself off the hook. I need to let that be gone. It's no longer who I am or what I'm doing, but it was something that was said to me that I allowed to show up in my everyday life in 2025. So now that I've recognized that was something I was carrying. Now I'm going to work on letting it go. So when the thought comes, boom, I'm going to do something. Maybe I'll snap my fingers. Maybe I'll clap my hands. Maybe I'll do something to stop that thought process, because that person is no longer harming me today. The only one harming me is me in that. So perhaps something happened to you years ago. Perhaps someone hurt you. Perhaps someone was mean to you. Perhaps, I don't know, you're carrying around something. And maybe it's something small, because I've seen this happen too, where I'm at work, let's say, and I'm talking to somebody and something shitty happened to them on the weekend. It's like, I don't know, they got stuck in traffic and they were late for an appointment on a Friday. It's Monday morning and they're still talking about it. Like they're still going on about that shitty thing that happened in the car, whatever. And those are like usually the easy ones to let go of. But even that can start to kind of compound if you keep holding on to resentments and frustrations. So when we hold on to them, they take up space in our lives, and we don't want them to take up space anymore. When you can release them, just like when we cleaned out our closets, you guys, and you got rid of clothing that no longer served you, we have to do the same with these thoughts that kind of like weasel their way in. They really do. They just sneak in. And it's like, good Lord, I want my mind open and ready for new and exciting and beautiful memories. Why am I allowing that thing that was said years ago to come into my world today? I'm not even the same person. And that person probably doesn't even know that they left that spot on my brain. But it's up to me now, moving forward, to work on that. And that's a work in progress. That's 80-20, you guys. That is 80-20. That's the things that we're talking about. 80-20 isn't just about your plate of food or your meal choices or whatever. 80-20 is across the board. It is your thoughts. What are you thinking? How are you showing up? And how is it impacting your day-to-day today? And so I allowed it to take me down for a moment, you guys. I had a few days of feeling offness because of this. Are you kidding me? I don't want to waste my time. We only have so many days here on earth. I am not letting that be a thought that's going to interfere with my current situation, which is fantastic. Guys, if there's something that is resonating here with you, maybe there's something that you are holding on to that is no longer serving you, that we need to let go of. We need to let go of that. All right, I wanted to clear the air on that one. And now I'm going to move into something that I did recognize last week about myself. And when I was having that low week, I was chatting with a friend on the phone, and I looked around as we were talking on the phone. I looked around my home, and like my kitchen was a disaster. I can share with you a picture if you want on the internet. I had my dishwasher was open. There was a frying pan on the stove, groceries on the counter that I didn't put away. My table was just full of who knows what, like everything. It looked like a tornado hit my home. And she said to me, just take 20 minutes and clean it up. You're going to feel better. And so I did take time to clean it up, but it took me longer than 20 minutes. And I've learned this about myself, that when I clean a room or several rooms, I can start in one room and then I go into the bathroom. Oh, I should wash the mirror and then do the mirror. Oh, and then I go by the laundry room. Oh, I'm going to move the laundry along. All of a sudden I'm in my gym. I'm like, oh, I should organize this equipment. Like it took me a while. And old me, I would have beat myself up for that. I'm like, you know what? It took me a long time to clean it. And so I'm really fair with myself in the fact that it might take me longer to get those things done. I even said to myself before I started cleaning, Katey, one room at a time. Just focus on one room and then move to the next. Well, it still went a little sideways and I ended up cleaning several rooms at the same time. I got them done. That's the main thing. I got them done and it was clean and it was so refreshing. So I'm going to share that little tip with you today. If you are feeling, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe you're feeling like me and you got into a little bit of a funk. I got into this little small funk last week and I allowed my house to get messy. And when it was messy and not organized, I started feeling messy and unorganized. And then my thoughts became messy and unorganized. So sometimes changing your thought pattern means cleaning up your physical space first. I have read this and heard this before, that your personality comes from your personal reality. So what are you living in? When you look around, is your home organized? Is it clean? Does it feel like it's functioning well for you? Or are you letting things get out of hand and messy and just not serving you well? And so it took me to have a bit of a low in my week to go, okay, Katey, time to clean up. And I took the day to do that. I took the time to do that. And it felt so good. I think it was last week sometime that I took the day and just cleaned and processed and let things get back into a good place. And I'm doing that as well. I mentioned this to my classes last night. As much as I function on 80-20 most of the time with my nutrition, in the last 6 weeks, I have been overdoing it in the sugar department. And I know I have. And guys, I'm not here to say don't ever eat sugar, but I am here to tell you, for me, I share with you my experience with it. And for me, I have been just having too much of it. I have. And it's been a combination of Father's Day, Mother's Day, birthday. There was a lot of days, travel, you guys. Like there was so much going on. And I'm not someone who does a lot of that sugar intake, but when I do, my body tells me. And I don't know if I've ever talked about sugar shits on this podcast. If not, today's the day I'm going to drop it. I'm going to tell you about the sugar shits. And it's when I eat too much sugar, the following day, I don't go to the bathroom normal. I don't feel good. It's not a healthy bowel movement ever. It just feels gross. And my energy and mood also decline when I take in too much sugar. So I said to my classes last night as I was teaching, I do have sweets from time to time, but the amount that I have been ingesting in the last few weeks is way more than my normal. And I can feel it in my mood. I can feel it in my energy. I can feel it in my bowel movements, you guys. And if you don't know what the sugar shits are, maybe your body doesn't tell you the way mine does, but mine definitely tells me that wasn't good for you. Like it just feels awful the next day. And so I've learned that. And okay, so here's this. I knew that about myself. I know that about myself. Yet for the last 6 weeks, I've been letting myself just have it and just like whatever. And it all goes together with my mood, my energy, my thoughts, all of it. It all goes together. So I'm not beating myself up. As the title of the show, the Big Messy Bun is what it is. It's messy sometimes. And so I just chose over the last few days to like just reflect a little bit and then take action. How am I going to change that thought process? How am I going to change my nutrition? That's it. I'm working on those two things this week. And I'm feeling already better after just recognizing that thought came in and I'm going to deal with it. And recognizing that I've been putting too much sugar into my body and it just doesn't serve me well. It just doesn't. And so I'm not mad. I just know that I've learned, and my little rock just sits with me. What is this here to teach me? So I had these moments happen to me in the last little while, and I'm going to reflect on them and grow from them. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm like, oh, there was a lesson presented. What's it here to teach me? And so the lesson about not holding on to thoughts from 31 years ago, those thoughts are going to end up consuming me if I let them in, and they're going to ruin my future self and my present day Katey. So I've worked way too hard, and you have worked way too hard on yourself. You have worked way too hard on yourself to let something from the past dictate how you function and live today. So you need to let that shit go for real, for real, for real. And as your host, I am going to do the same thing. I'm committed to that. I no longer want to let that limiting belief from 1994 interfere with the Katey of today. So if you have something that you're working on, I would love to hear about it. And you can share it to me privately. You could leave a comment, whatever you like. We are going to wrap up this week's episode, though, of the Big Messy Bun. You just finished listening to episode 27 of the Big Messy Bun. If you are not following this show yet, if you could just hit that little follow button, it would just help this show out. And if you found this to be a useful episode, something that might help somebody, maybe reflect a little bit. My energy is a little more somber this week, and I'm going to tell you, I am going to show up each episode as I am. And this is Katey. This is me showing up authentic and real, and here on the Big Messy Bun.